thank you all for coming. This is a slow news day in DC, so I'm sure that what comes out of this room is going to be the thing that is covered. One other little housekeeping note that I feel the need to share. We got here early this morning, as you can imagine, trying to pull things together for this remarkable group of people. And they had me come up and do a quick run through, and I couldn't read my notes because I have officially reached the age where I need reading glasses. So I will ask you to indulge me. They reprinted my remarks to a much larger font size that I'm not going to share because I'm a little embarrassed. But just in case, I brought my glasses up. So with that, as a groundbreaker, good morning. Good morning. I am so pleased to welcome you to our first of what I am convinced will be an annual event, the National Reading Coalition. I invite you to look around the room. Your colleagues are here from all sectors, and they're here today to contribute ideas and spur action to tackle the critical issue of children's literacy. This is a remarkable group of people. I am so honored to be in the same room with so many of you, and I thank you for joining us for today's conversation. You're advocates and activists, and you're all dedicated to ensuring that every child in America has the opportunity to read and succeed. If you're here today, you know as well as I do that reading is the fundamental building block necessary to empower our youth to explore, to learn, and to grow. Whatever path a child takes, college or career, the cornerstone of their success will be dependent on their ability to read. What we know is that the jobs of today, the skills necessary to be a productive member of society today, will be very different tomorrow. The rapid pace of change is really today's reality, and our ability to adapt requires a literate society. My very good friend, Tina Fey, I also have a very good friend, Justice Sonia Sotomayor, she'll be here later. In all seriousness, I should say RIF's very good friend, Tina Fey, named Reading is Fundamental as her charity of choice earlier this year. And she commented that if you can't read, you can't code, you can't conduct a science experience, you can't write. Reading is the fundamental building block for opportunity for today's children. Reading is Fundamental, and this coalition is about bringing our good friends together, all of you, and now Tina Fey is your good friend, to collaborate, to learn, and importantly, to activate our networks. Dane Lynn, who's joining us later today, commented to me that there are a lot of events that happen in DC, a lot of conversations. We're really anxious to turn this conversation into action, and I think this group of people are exactly the right group of people to help us do that. The numbers are staggering, and here's just one. 25 million children in America today cannot read proficiently. That's 25 million people already impacted by the literacy crisis, whose paths through school and the workplace will be an ongoing challenge. And that's 25 million people who will enter the workforce lacking the fundamental skills necessary to succeed. And that doesn't just represent children in high needs communities who lack reading skills. It's kids across the country in every community, from urban to suburban to rural. The factors that influence a child's learning and the country's literacy rate are complex for sure. This isn't a simple problem, but that does not mean they can't be grappled with and addressed at multiple levels and across multiple groups. Groups like all of you, groups that are in the room today to really address this issue. My friends, together, this is a problem that we can solve. As I am convinced only RIF can do, we have gathered a remarkable group of professionals for today's discussion. They join us from multiple market sectors, public and private. What they have in common is a demonstrated ability to bring like-minded organizations together around common outcomes. They're change agents who have had demonstrable and measurable impact in the communities that they serve. Their stories and experiences will inspire and motivate you as you focus on your organizational goals. I'm also pleased to welcome Dane Lynn this morning. He joins us from the Business Roundtable, and he will really set the stage for today's focus on the connection between literacy and a prepared workforce. I mentioned to him this morning as he was trying to grab breakfast that he really is the guiding force behind our work today based on a recent report published by the Business Roundtable, Why Reading Matters and What to Do About It, a CEO action plan. It is this report that created the platform for today's discussion. Let's be honest, if Dane can get CEOs from across the country to activate around children's literacy, we'll learn a lot from him about how we can activate our own networks to address the issue. We look no further than some of the other leaders in the room today and our remarkable speakers to learn from them as well. I am truly inspired by UGI Utilities, a statewide utility serving customers in Pennsylvania, and as a Marylander, I will note, one county in Maryland, who has invested in providing books and literacy support to first grade classrooms throughout their service area for the past 26 years. UGI has invested in children's literacy to support the communities they serve for 26 years. I think there's a lot that we can learn from Joe and his team. I want to replicate Pitney Bowes' commitment to engaging their workforce with turnkey solutions around reading that make a difference in the communities in which they live and work. Again, I think we'll be remarkably inspired with what we hear from Kathleen and her team. And I'm in awe of our friends from Dollar General, who continue to make significant investments in literacy, especially in rural areas where the need is great and the resources are limited. And Deneen will amaze you at the investment and the commitment that Dollar General has made to this really important issue. They know, as we do here at RIF, that if a child can read, their opportunities are endless. Reading is a right. It is a right, not a privilege. I'll say it again, because we fundamentally believe that reading is a right, and our job is to make sure that every child has the opportunities that reading provides. In partnership with the speakers and panelists here today, and all of you here at the National Reading Coalition, together we will lead the way in investing in literacy for all to build the workforce of tomorrow. Before I jump off the stage, you can hear from the experts. I also want to share how really honored and thrilled we are to welcome, again, my good friend, Justice Sotomayor, who is the author of the new, and by the way, wherever the Secret Service are in the room, they're really happy that I keep saying that. They've stopped me twice this morning already. The author of the new children's book, Turning Pages, My Life Story, and illustrator Lulu Delacrae. They join us for a lunchtime conversation about the book and the role the reading had in their personal and professional journeys. This couldn't be more appropriate for today's discussion. As the first Latina Supreme Court Justice, Justice Sotomayor has inspired young people around the world to reach for their dreams. But what inspired her? For young Sonia, again, my good friend Sonia, the answer was books. It was books. They were her mirrors, her maps, her friends, and her teachers. In Turning Pages, Justice Sotomayor shares that love of books with a new generation of readers and inspires them to read and puzzle and dream for themselves. Accompanied by Lulu Delacrae's vibrant art, this story of the Justice's life shows readers that the world is full of promise and possibility. All they need to do is turn the page. I'm going to turn the page and turn the podium over, but before I do that, I did want to take one moment to thank our sponsors. These events aren't possible with the support of sponsors. BDO, Pitney Bowes, Scholastic, and Macy's have all been deeply committed to the issue of children's literacy, and we cannot thank them enough for their ongoing commitment. I also want to welcome several board members from Reading is Fundamental who have joined us today, and two notable women who I think really demonstrate for us what a lifelong commitment to literacy can mean. Margie Pastor joins us. Her mother founded Reading is Fundamental, and she's been engaged with RIF for the past 50 years, and so we welcome her. Margie, welcome. And Linda Johnson-Robb joins us. She served on our board for many years. She is a lifelong believer in children's literacy, and her commitment to the issue inspires us every day. So welcome, Linda and Margie, to this just really remarkable day. I know that you will enjoy it as much as we will. You'll learn. I certainly plan to listen, and then I am really excited for tomorrow to read the paper, because I'm sure this will be the lead in the Post. But to really get to work. And so with that, I would like to introduce Reading is Fundamental Chairman of the Board, Jack Ramonde, who in his spare time is the CEO of Navient, which is an organization that employs thousands and serves millions of Americans. And his experiences certainly empower us at RIF. So with that, Jack, welcome.
Good morning. It's really an honor to be here today, and I was saying to someone earlier, it's actually a great distraction that I don't have to be watching a certain television show at 10 o'clock this morning. So thanks, Alicia, for the introduction. As she said, my name is Jack Vermonti, and I'm President and CEO of Navient, and I also have the distinct privilege to serve as the chairman of RIF's Board of Directors. I'm also someone with a lifelong commitment to children's literacy, having served on the RIF board for the past 15 years. In my day job, I'm responsible for overseeing a workforce of 6,000 teammates at Navient, where we help millions of customers successfully manage their loans and realize the educational and economic benefits of a college education. At Navient, enhancing the financial success of our customers is everything we stand for. And while our primary role is assisting customers with their loans, we also take pride in providing financial literacy resources and free tools that empower people to make more informed decisions. These resources, however, are only valuable when they can build on the foundation of existing literacy skills. For people to achieve financial literacy, they must first have proficient reading skills. From our role working with tens of millions of customers over the years, we see how a college degree can open doors to new opportunities and better economic outcomes. Unfortunately, we also see the consequences when students are not prepared or are unable to complete their degree. I know well that kids who are not reading at a young age, that the skills gap for them widens each year. And it's very challenging for them to pursue a higher education or become employees in the workforce, employees with entities like that Navient can hire. Like many companies, at Navient, we need an educated, literate workforce to staff our call centers, consult with our customers, ensure regulatory compliance, and develop our systems and more. In addition to my work experiences, I'm also the proud beneficiary of a solid education. I wouldn't be here today without that. My parents, first-generation Americans, always emphasized the importance of school and helped me develop a lifelong love of reading, something I pass on to my children today. The ability to pursue an education has opened opportunities for me and my family, and this all starts with the development of building proficient reading skills. This is why I support Reading is Fundamental. I am thrilled to be here today and to welcome you to today's event. I am looking forward to learning what is currently working and how organizations of all types, whether corporations, schools, universities, government entities, or nonprofits, can partner to make a difference. And I think it needs to be clear that this responsibility to solve this reading crisis that Alicia mentioned does not fall on one of us alone. It falls on all of us together. So on behalf of the Reading of Fundamentals Board of Directors, it is my pleasure and honor to welcome you to today's event. Thank you.